Reno 911 is coming back for an exclusive event on Paramount Plus on December 23rd called The Hunt for QAnon. Now, even though this show has been around since 2003, it's almost 20 years old, and they have had breaks in between seasons. Between seasons 6 and 7, there was a huge gap in between the years. But they are coming back for another special, and I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and rank the seasons from the worst to the first. Reno 911 is an American comedy television series that initially ran on Comedy Central from 2003 to 2009. It is a mockumentary-style parody of law enforcement document series shows, specifically Cops. If you've never seen Reno 911 before, it's a very wacky comedy show, and while it's not one of my favorites of all time, I really do enjoy this show, and it's something that every 2-3 years I'll go back and rewatch either the whole series or I'll just pick out like some really good episodes because I can never get enough of Dangle and Jonesy and Garcia. I can never get enough of them. And even Terry.
Person's name.
Well, I guess it might rhyme with Mary or Harry.
My name isn't Mary or Harry. My name is
Terry. So, starting off the list, the worst season of the series is easily the QB revival of season 7 of Reno. Now, I was very, very grateful that they were going to come back for another season. I was excited. And the whole premise of QB, whatever it's called, it's irrelevant now. It doesn't even exist. It's like 4 or like 6 minute episodes. So that right off the bat kind of worried me, but then I thought about it, and a lot of Reno 911 is just, there is a story for each episode, but really it's just a bunch of random clips of them having interactions with the people of Reno. So then I kind of was like, okay, well this could work because then we don't really have to worry about the stories. We can just get to the strange characters that they're getting to. And it really did not work on Quibi. This series really does format itself for having the 20 to 22 minute episodes and having that backstory in the background, whether it be Dangle moving and then having the clips going on, whether it be Jonesy and Garcia being Mounties now and having the random clips going on and having that background story, whether it be them having a corporate sponsor now and then cutting back to the random clips and then going back to them having corporate sponsors and having to deal with that story. That's really where the show works best, and you're able to spend a little bit extra time on each character because it's a big ensemble cast. There's like 7 people in it. Moving on to the number 6 spot is season 6. They bring in new members for the cast, and while at first it can become a little off-putting and maybe even distracting, within the first episode you really do start to embrace the new deputies over time, and I have grown to enjoy this season more and more, but the magic of the original cast is what really brings this season 6 down to near the bottom. Now, even though it is not up to the top, each season I'm going to go ahead and give a couple standout episodes that I do enjoy. So for season 6, a couple standout episodes include Training Day and Digging with the Murderer, which stars Dwight himself, Rainn Wilson, as the murderer. Coming into the number 5 slot, we have season 5 of Reno 911. This show has always been foolish and parodied of everyday circumstances with political and rash humor, but in this season, this is where I started to see the pendulum sway of questionable clips that extended disbelief and continued into season 6. Now, even though this is not the worst season, even though this is not one of the best seasons, there are a couple standout episodes that I really do enjoy in this. One of my favorite of all times, actually, is in this season, even though it ranks so low, including Tommy Hawk and Undercover at Burger Cousin with Seth Green, who was a fantastic cameo. Coming in at the number 4 spot is going to be the very first season of Reno 911. Now, I know a lot of people may be scratching their heads on why Reno 911 season 1 is so low, but really, I don't think it's that low. I mean, they were still trying to find their footing with this season, and it has a really great premise for the show and an excellent jumping off point, but the characters still at this point had not found their solid footing and grounding yet for what makes the show great. While this is certainly not the worst season, and it doesn't have the worst episodes compared to the last couple seasons I just said, there are less episodes in this season that stand out to me as ones that I have to rewatch whenever I'm thinking about Reno 911. All right, we're in the top three. So number three is season 2 of Reno 911. A couple standout episodes in this is Not Without My Mustache, and I'm not just saying that because I have a mustache, but that really is one of the best episodes that they've done. It's very funny, especially to the point where Travis Jr. quits the force at the very end and becomes a mailman just so he doesn't have to shave off his mustache. Another episode of this season that stands out to me is Dangle's Wife Visits. Before I give my top two, if you have not done so already, you're enjoying this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and leave a comment if you even like Reno 911 and what episodes stand out to you as your favorite. So in the number 2 spot, we have season 4, a couple standout episodes in this. Mr. Pee Wee Herman himself is in this season playing a character named Rick. And the episode of the standout that I'm naming is Rick's On It. Once again, one of the best episodes in the whole series. And another one that I also mentioned earlier was Corporate Sponsor. This is a play on Hooters, obviously. And this is an episode where they are battling with the Hooters girl. I'm going to call them Hooters girls for now. I forget what they call them in the show. Like Hot Wings girls or something like that. This whole season is great. Now, even though I did only pick 2 episodes that stand out, there are a whole bunch in this season that really do stand out to me and I love them, but I wanted to just stick with 2. In season 4, you can see that they know their characters. They know they can hit every spot of comedy on point. They know what to do. And this is going down as one of the best seasons. All right, I'm in my number 1 season spot right here, and if you've done your math correctly, you already know what number I'm going to say. Season 3 takes the number 1 spot for me as the best season of Reno 911 that we've ever had. Now, they start this season off with a cliffhanger, which can be tricky because right off the bat, you're assuming that all persons that stuck around for the end of season 2 is going to come back and tune in to see the conclusion for this cliffhanger that they left us on. And you're assuming that new audiences will understand the concept of the show, pick up where you left off, but it was a gamble and it really truly does work. This cast within this season really just hits the stride with the show, and they really have found and owned who their characters are and with the situational comedy. A couple standout episodes for me in this is the Revenge of Mike Powers, which might honestly be my favorite episode of the series, which is strange to say because they aren't even being cops in that whole episode, so there's no interaction between them and the people of Reno, which is really odd to say, but hey, listen, Dangle applying for America's Next Top Idol singer thing is great. Trudy taking advantage of all the old people that she's having a bed and breakfast, but really they're just doing her chores. And Jonesy and Garcia being mall cops is just all fantastic. Another standout episode before I end this out of season 3, even though I could probably name all the episodes in here, is Naked Stakeout, where we see Dangle and Travis Jr. Get stuck in a stakeout naked. And the episode pretty much explains itself from there. Are you a fan of Reno 911? There's a lot of good episodes. There's also a lot of bad episodes, but this is a show that cannot be taken seriously at all. And you have to really embrace the type of humor that they're going for to really enjoy this show. I'm excited for the new special coming out on Paramount Plus sign. It's coming out in just a couple weeks. And I hope it does really well with streaming numbers because then we'll get more and it gives me more of an excuse to be able to revisit and rewatch Reno 911 more often. So if you are looking for episodes of Reno 911, you can watch them on HBOmax and on Paramount Plus sign. My name is Trace, hope you enjoy this video, and this is me telling you not to forget to go to Tacos Tacos Tacos.